My name is Phakamani Tshila Ndlela. Nire sekuru mutimba nepasi chigara mongo wemwedzi modzi yemvura matutu mafusire vakafusira chidhoma chichifamba mutupo usingadyiwe nevaroyi Ndlela mahelani vanofamba nembuva yavo muhombodo chikomba chebanya vakadzi vakabata muswe chisionekwe chinotoonekwa kana mvura yanaya maravire vakwasha vanobvumidzwa kuravira gapu remambuya ingazi zamadhodha dzatungana emkuze. I was born of Clopas. Clopas was born of Takavada. Takavada was born of Magundani. Magundani was born of Amazingo. So when my ancestors migrated to what we now call Zimbabwe, the people, they couldn't pronounce Amazingo, so they called him Madzingo. So Madzingo was born of Skayamazulu. Skayamazulu was born of Funavandlani. Funavandlani was born of Ndlela. Ndlela was born of Zubi. Zubi was born of Luvonga. Luvonga was born of Mavuso. Mavuso was born of Ngwane. It can sound like a story to some people, but so this is what happened. I was recording folk stories for my radio program, and for that season, that's what I wanted to do, because sometimes it's rites of passage and rituals and ceremonies, but this particular season was for folk stories. So I decided to go to one of our rural areas to find some elderly people so that they can tell the story, and I'll record them and share them with the listeners. So we went to the rural area. It was raining. It was a rainy season. It was raining hard. And this place that we were driving to was about 72 kilometers away, but the roads were very bad. So we got there late and we couldn't record the story until 12 midnight. Until 12 midnight. So at 12 midnight, that's when we decided to go to the river, because the rivers were full. The rivers were flowing, the rivers were full. It had been raining and the skies were amazing. You could actually hear the planets realigning. You could hear the movement of the stars. So we went to the river. So we sat by the waterfall. There was a waterfall. There was an amazing waterfall. And the elder that I was with is from the Soko, or the monkey, or the baboon bloodline. He rolled his huge joint of weed. And then he rolled his huge joint of weed. And then, he was smoking. And then I think after about maybe about 10 or 20 minutes, the water rose. This is a true story. The water rose, into the air, and it formed 3 figures. You could actually see 3 female figures. It was, just talking about it right now, it gives me goosebumps. I've never experienced anything like that. The river was happy. Growing up, I never thought things like rivers and trees can be happy, but I experienced the happiness of the river to an extent that the water actually rose, and I could see clearly 3 female figures in the water, and they were having a conversation while the old man was telling the story, and their heads bowed down. And man, I don't smoke myself. I've never smoked in my life. I've never drank in my life. And if I had smoked or drank, I would think, maybe I'm high. Maybe I'm high. And I actually had a conversation with these three figures. You know, it wasn't for a moment, because some of the spiritual experiences that I have, they are for an infinite moment. You know, it's a moment, but it's timeless. It's not confined to time and space. But the conversation that I had with these three figures in the water, you know, let's call them water spirits. You know, I normally don't like to use the term water spirits, because when you say water spirits, people think marine spirits, and when people think marine spirits, you know, they start thinking of, you know, because a lot of people go to church, they start, you know, a lot of things. So I had a conversation that was actually confined to time and space. And my life changed. My life, from that day, my life changed. And these three women, I saw them again in Tanzania, when I went to Tanzania. When I went to Tanzania, I told them that I'm coming to see you. Because they told, you know, when I met them in a rural, in a river, in a rural home in Zimbabwe, they told them that they were not from that area. They were from Tanzania. And I planned a trip to go to Tanzania. You know, that same night, I told them I'm coming to Tanzania to see you. And when I go to Tanzania, a few years later, I forgot that I had made that promise. So I remember one day I was lying in bed. I think it was after 2 weeks I had been to Tanzania. I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't know where the ocean was, you know. So I was lying, and a voice called out in my ear. It called my name in my ear, and I fell off the bed. You know, like, you said you were coming to see us. How come you haven't come to see us? So I went out, I stood on the balcony, because I didn't know where the ocean was. I had to, you know, the water, and I followed the scent. That's how I found the ocean. And I play guitar, so I took my guitar, and I went, I played for them. I sat on the beach, I played guitar for them, and I saw them again. In the same movement, the same thing that happened in rural Zimbabwe. And they were so happy to see me. So, yeah.
You know, the story that you're telling kind of almost brings tears to my eyes, because I have such a crazy experience of water. I love water. Blue is my color, as you can see. Me and water, you know, I really love water. My first time I went to Durban, I had this thing, a bug, stomach